Welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're joined with Chaney of Entheos. How you doing today, fam?
I'm doing good. It's been a weird week. Finally calming down a little bit.
Yeah,
So doing good.
that's good. Yeah, because last time you were on the show, we were talking about your guys' record. And that was like, I think, a year ago, I think, or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and that was super fun. And then, like, it's so funny because I always see you pop in my feed, you and Naveem doing cool stuff, and then also obviously the new Entheos, as you guys have been releasing singles, has been really nice to hear and refreshing. And you guys just released your new EP, which again I want to talk about. But what we just checked out yesterday was probably like the craziest thing that, like, I don't know why not more people are talking about it. I see like some news people, like, some news articles are posting about it, but like. I don't know how it happened, and I want to know the details. You showed up on Kai's like mafiathon subathon stream, which again, if people don't know who Kai Sennett is, he's like, I don't know, it's like Ninja, but now like there's the equivalent for people. Massive Twitch streamer, very not metal at all.
No, in no way. I was the first like metal musician that they had ever had on the stream.
Yeah.
So it was really wild.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had no idea who Kai was until I was hit up about going on the stream. So it's
Right.
been like this world of discovery for me.
Right.
Like yeah, weird.
Yeah, because he has like, I mean, huge rappers. He's had like Lil Uzi Vert and stuff on the stream, so that's why I was like, I saw it come up in my field. I was like, is Chaney on Kai's stream right now?
Dude, Nick, I went on after LeBron James. I was watching it from my hotel room, like, are you kidding me? LeBron
Right.
James is on right now, and I'm going on next. This is wild.
Yeah, that's so like, because and it's again sometimes the scene frustrates me because they don't understand when like things like that happen. Like, first of all, again, watching you on there was so awesome. Like you were just badass motherfucker, and you just like it wasn't like you on there to like meme it out. Like you were able to play Entheos. You literally did a like live performance in front of a bunch of people, and you had a really, really nice and wholesome message at the end too, which was great.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like this is crazy to see. Like, how did that whole thing come about, I guess?
Well, okay, so Kai has two people who like schedule every guest on his show, right? He
Right.
doesn't, with the Mafiathon thing, he doesn't know who's going to pop up on stream. It's
Okay.
kind of, that's a part of the whole thing. It's a surprise. So one of the two people who schedules his show saw one of my viral videos. She said that a friend had sent it to her,
Wow.
and she was just like, she watched it and she was just like, I have to get this girl on the
That's
stream.
awesome.
So it was all because of her, and it was just this random Instagram message that she sent me. So that is like, check your Instagram messages,
Okay.
check them all. Like, my first one was from Christina P, and then I got one from Drake, and then Kai's like
There's
scheduling person.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too for a little sidetrack second. The Drake thing was so random and funny, and I love that it happened. It was just Drake sharing again. I think probably that same like big viral video. But again, you have so many playthroughs of you just it's great. You're just kicking ass playing Entheos. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
wow, okay. Just like doing the vocal playthroughs, and it's brutal, and your vocals are absolutely insane. And Drake shared one of those, which again, like the overlap of these worlds are like
What reality am I living in?
it's so
Like, what has happened? Sometimes I'm like, so I got in like a really bad scooter accident a few years ago, right? And sometimes I'm just like, did I actually die then? And I'm living out like
my
my
God.
Vanilla Sky, like weird alternate reality life. This is
Right.
just insane. But like, so Kai's scheduler found that video and she hit me up, and it was just a very quick message, and I had no idea who Kai was, like I said.
Right.
So I started looking him up, and I was like, yeah, dude, I would love to come out there and be on the stream, sure.
Right.
So they flew me out. It was really vague. I didn't even really believe it until I got till I got to the airport and like checked in for my reservation.
Right.
And so they flew me out. I was in a hotel in Beverly Hills, just like, what is going on with my life right now? Watching the stream happened. I was getting no details. They did not, all that I knew was that I was going to go on and sing an end to everything because that's the song that she saw, right?
Right.
And they told me not to bring a microphone, not to like bring a vocal chain or
Oh
anything,
my
because I was
God.
like, what do I need to like send you a song or whatever? So I had no idea how I was going to perform it.
Right.
And so she, like 20 minutes before she wanted me to show up, she sent me the address, had me go. I pull up to this gate. It's shrouded in security. Like there
I
are
would
hella
imagine.
security people yeah, it's crazy. So they, asked me who I was. We pulled into this huge fucking insane mansion, and you go inside, and they just like started giving me the little microphone and stuff,
Yeah.
like, dressing me up, getting me ready for it. It was crazy because they have like it's like the Truman Show, a room full of screens where they're watching everything go on because
Right.
it's a 24-hour reality series. So they were
Yeah.
like rushing me in. They brought in the extras that you saw
That I was
on
gonna
screen.
ask. I was like, is that just like Chaney's crew randomly, or are these just like random extras? Like, who are these
I had
people?
no I met them there, and I didn't
Okay.
even know that I was going to go on with extras. So
Right.
yeah, they had a bunch of people there, and they're just like, all right, this is what you're doing. Take in this boombox. They handed me like the clothes that I brought in, like the leather jacket and shit, the wig. And they're like, go in, tell him to wear this, and then just like go from there. So it was very vague, very open-ended. And
Right.
I was like, all right, I was born to do this.
Yeah.
Let's fucking rock.
That's
And
probably
just
such a better atmosphere though than it being like again not to like people should not understate how crazy that is. Like again, especially the event he has going on right now. Like that's like I can't even imagine the millions of dollars they're spending to like pull that huge thing off. Like it's
insane.
it's fucking crazy. So like it must be much more though relaxing. Be like, yeah, just do the thing. You know, go do the thing instead of it be probably like this. You know, obviously what they're doing is professional, but it's not like check, and it's probably way more pressure to like make sure it goes like this and this and this, which is not. I feel like that's probably more authentic to like again TV and all that, but like luckily I guess in the streaming space it's professional, but not as like strict and like these specific guidelines and all that. Like crazy shit happens all the time. That's probably actually random in that
Totally.
space.
That's the charm
Yeah.
of it. Like it's cool because you are actually like you're seeing a person in these scenarios that have been kind of set up for them, but you're getting a genuine reaction. Like
Yeah.
Kai didn't know that we were coming in there, and everything that you see is his genuine reaction. And I thought it was so
So
cool.
okay, he had no clue you guys were. So that was like just a bunch of people coming in, and that's
He
actually
had no
so.
idea. And the people before me like went in and stood like statues and
Yo,
just stared at him until I came in. So he was all weirded out. But once I got in there and I started playing the song and stuff, because before we went in there, I was like, all right, you guys, I'm gonna hype you the fuck up. Like, this is a metal show. Do you know how to mosh? And they're like, yeah, we mosh. So I was like, all right, we're going in there. We're starting a pit in that room.
right,
And yeah, so I went in, played the song. It was really weird. You know, I'm used to holding a
right,
microphone
right.
and doing that. So having to like do vocals into my mic over here and stuff, that was
Oh,
weird.
right, yeah, because you have
Uh, but dude, it was just like so fun and so surreal. And Kai was super receptive to what we were doing. Like he was very
yeah,
genuinely interested in it. You know, it wasn't, I think that it can be viewed from the outside like this is really funny. Like,
right,
because it is kind of funny to people who don't play metal. There's
right,
something like weird about it that they don't get. It's kind of funny that someone's in there screaming.
right.
But once they realize that it's like sick
Yeah,
and that I can do vocals, it pulls them in.
yeah, 100%.
And Kai was like trying to do vocals along with me
Yeah,
and like had me do the motivational speech. I didn't expect that at all. Because I'd seen that other people have done that on his stream.
right.
And I just didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to be like a figure in the background and it wasn't even going to be noticeable that I was on the stream or what. So
Right.
it was just wild.
Yeah, that's so fucking crazy. I love that it's just impromptu, just go for it. And you killed it too. Like it's so cool. I'm like, hell yeah, Chaney, fucking get it. You know, like do your thing and like it's great because like you said, like his again, like a crowd like that's a big mainstream internet culture crowd. Like they're like they're not used to like death metal vocals. Like that's
He didn't know who Slipknot was.
yeah.
I was
So
just like, holy
yeah,
shit.
that's
All
like the
right.
starter, right? So like maybe if we
Yeah.
had some like LP, okay, or something like that's where we get closest. But like going from that, and again, they're probably having like Lil Uzi Vert and a lot of these other guys on there, which actually sometimes do like really cool like metal collabs, but like it's still so like foreign to that audience of like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Yeah.
what's a mosh? What's a blast beat? What's a fucking breakdown? Why is she screaming at me? You know, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like it's that mixture, which is so cool, and it's awesome that you're able to do that and kind of like just kind of carry the torch in that capacity. Because no, I doubt like if someone was like, hey, like someone from a huge metal band, like I don't even know, like like a Slipknot or something, like go up there and do it. They're probably like, this is what the fuck is streaming? You know what I mean? Maybe like
Totally.
like, and that's so cool that I know you have your podcast as well, which I know is a very modern thing. But have you guys messed around with streaming specifically ever?
We have like a Twitch thing. We've honestly kind of like shifted away from doing the podcast, and every so often we'll get on Twitch and like
Mhm.
play songs and stuff, but we're not like hardcore into it. You know, we
Right.
don't stream as much as you do or other
Mhm.
people. So, but I did feel grateful that I've had that experience streaming
Right.
and that I'm comfortable like getting on camera and speaking to the
Right.
chat and stuff, because without that it might have been a little more
Yeah.
daunting
Yeah.
before, or you know, I might have been a little more nervous before I went on,
Well,
but
something I love that you said is you said, "Hey, chat." Right away, you probably earned the respect, regardless if they knew what was happening, of like every person there, because like, oh, you're one of us. Like you know what this is. Like you've
oh
been
yeah,
here, and that's
you gotta respect the chat,
you
dude.
gotta
You
respect the
gotta
chat.
chat, right? You
Yeah, my
guys are here
chat
right
doesn't
now.
respect me usually. They
What
just
up,
shit talk
chat?
as we go. But like that's something that's super cool, and I feel like again a lot of musicians would have gone in there. Like 95% of musicians would have gone in there and been like, wait, I don't have like I don't have my stuff. Like what? Like it's too impromptu. It's too random. Like I don't feel comfortable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this is a weird environment for you to do this, and most musicians probably just wouldn't have even want to do it, regardless of how cool of an opportunity it is to do something like that. Like that's
I
the
know.
like
I was
equivalent.
wondering that. Like I was even thinking about that. They had no idea. Like the girl who booked me had no idea, but she did pick, you know, if anyone you can pick, she
Right.
did pick one of the right people to have on a stream just because,
Mhm.
you know, it's yeah, I'm used to it.
Right.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, 'cause it's such a different environment of just I mean, you can't even you'll get shoved in a room with a bunch of people you haven't met, and go like just raw vocal in front of everybody, in front of I like 130,000 people that were probably watching that at that moment. Like
Yeah.
that's like what the fuck.
Yeah. It's intimidating a little bit, but I don't know, something just right before I went up there, I was just like, all right, nerves are gone. Let's
Right.
get rid of those. Let's just go fucking kill this
Mm,
and like represent the metal scene, you
mm,
know? Because this is like, I did realize that before I went on. Like, I've been a part of the scene my whole life for the
right.
past like 20 plus years. And I just really wanted to like make the metal scene proud. I
Mm,
just wanted to like carry that torch
yeah.
into a space like that
Mm,
because I don't know. I fucking love this scene, man. And
yeah.
I just wanted to make everyone out there proud.
Yeah.
So I had to let go of those nerves and I had to go on there and just like do my thing. Like I was
Mm.
born to be a streamer. Like I was born to scream on
That
stream.
was a scream on. Well, that's
Yeah.
what streamers do. That's the thing. I'm sure like Kai and everyone might have been like surprised of the particular tonality you had when screaming, but everyone's used to people just screaming for no reason and being loud on stream because of that's
Totally.
just what half of it is nowadays.
Dude,
Right?
absolutely.
So like, wait, that's how it's supposed to sound? Probably people are like, "Oh my god. That's way better than someone just raging and clipping the mic nonstop because it's just peaking out of anger. Like this is actually cool." But that's the thing. Like when I saw that happening, I was like, "This is so fucking sick." And like that's exactly what you did. Again, like claps to you for doing that and for the fucking scene, especially too. It's like having moments like that is so special. And that's why that was one of the first things I was like, I haven't talked to Chaney in a while. I just come on the stream and come chat anyways. But like also I'm like, there's to be some recognition of someone doing something that's just so fucking crazy badass that no musicians won't do it. I guarantee you some of the best musicians wouldn't go and do that thing because it's fucking awkward to probably
Yeah.
to go in a room and just figure it out, right? But to do that, that was like the equivalent of the internet version of like the Gojira Olympics for me. I was like, oh my god, they just did the thing. They just
Well,
did the
thank
thing.
you. That's amazing.
Which is crazy, by the way. Like that is
Oh,
Did you watch the Gojira Olympics?
fuck yeah. Everyone watched
E-
that. Dude, I was
yeah,
on tour and I was just like, how am I living in this world where metal is on this huge stage? Like that's just
yeah.
that broke so many barriers in itself. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's happening a lot more. It's been rapid firing, which is great. Like I missed that. I feel like metal is being more, bled into the mainstream as it was like 20 years ago. You'd see always big new metal bands collab with video games and collab with like obviously MTV is the thing, but like just mainstream things were happening with metal, and then it kind of went away, and now I feel like it's coming back in this new really weird age, but it's like so sick. Even like fucking when Knocked Loose is doing Kimmel, I'm like,
I saw
okay,
that. That's
like
amazing.
that's
That's
so
how it should be. I know that a lot of
yeah,
people like, people are like, bring back, we need stronger gatekeeping in metal, but I don't agree with that shit,
no,
dude. I think that everyone should have a chance to be exposed to
yeah,
this amazing genre. Like, I don't believe in keeping it to
yeah,
ourselves. When I
just
was a
yeah,
kid, like bands like mine who are more in the techie realm, the best possible scenario for us was like selling out a bunch of vets halls around
mm,
the US.
right,
And now I'm watching those bands sell out like House of Blues,
yeah,
places that compete with mainstream music. And
mm,
that's fucking amazing. It
yeah,
is so cool to see metal on this level. And I think that it's a testament to how passionate all of us are about this and how great of songwriting is coming out of this genre. Like
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just so proud of it.
Yeah, the songwriting has definitely gotten better. I was scared during the tens a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, Chaney, during the tens, because everyone was like, it was weird. It's like that's when the genre fusion started, but like in a really weird way where it felt. I feel like a lot of bands, more particularly, I guess, in the core scene, were doing it so forcefully that I was like, the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
And then over the years, bands got really good at now. There's like genres almost aren't a thing because every band has everything in them. Like if you hear a metalcore band, you're gonna hear synths and then a deathcore breakdown. If you hear a deathcore band, you're probably gonna hear a random singing moment and then orchestra, And if you hear even tech death is expanding to like crazy heights and like saxophone and all this shit, like which is
Yeah,
really cool
which I
to
think
see.
is rad. When I was a kid, I was always like, how am I, because I like singing.
Right? Yeah.
And I was always like, how am I going to start singing in a band and still have these people who respect me because I'm a screamer,
Mm,
like want to listen to my band with singing? So I'm so glad that, like you're saying, all of the genres are starting to blend together because most musicians, most of us
yeah.
don't just want to play one thing for our entire lives.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be judged if we like deviate from that one thing a little bit. Like
Mm,
we want to be able to experiment because if we can't, then that's where we start going off on side quests and we're like, all
yep.
right, I'm going to go over here and do EDM for like 10 years. Peace out. You
Yeah.
know? I just love that all of the genres are coming together like that. That's how it should be.
Do you have a dream side quest, like a side quest project that you've always been like, that would be so random and so fucking cool, just to just go for it for like an EP or like a couple tracks?
My side quest that I definitely want to do is like an 80s like synth wave type thing. Like, are you
That's cool.
familiar with The Knife or Fever Ray at all? It's like a
No, I'm not.
okay, it's in a like a more dancey
Hmm.
synth wave type realm.
Hmm.
And I definitely will do that.
Okay, that sounds.
Yeah.
Would that something you'd probably sing mainly over, or like,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
absolutely.
that'd be
All
a vibe.
singing.
I mean, I grew up with a bunch of 80s, 90s like pop and dance stuff too, because my mom would fucking always play it like randomly in the back. So like, I think that the best music is like the 80s and then the 2000s, and then I kind of gave up. But I'm just like, I like breakdowns are cool. 578 is great, and like breakdowns, yay. But it's cool to
Yeah, I
see.
like
Yeah.
stuff like Depeche Mode and shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of the realm that I would go into. But dude, I have such bad tunnel vision that it's really hard for
Mm,
me to not just focus on Entheos and
right.
like put all of these ideas into that in some way.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, why would I go? I
Right.
just love playing in my band and I don't really feel any restrictions in my band at all,
Yeah.
luckily. So it's like, how do we figure out how to like marry the two?
Hmm. And you got and ironically, you guys are actually married. Like you actually get to do a band with your partner, which I know that also must be like such a cool, different thing that very rarely people get to experience. Of like, hey, I'm gonna write music that I really love, and my partner is my bandmate.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Well, I feel like it's allowed us, like, we understand each other on such like deep level musically as
Right.
well. So Naveen can tell, like, he writes perfect music for what I want to sing over.
Mm-hmm.
And like when he's writing, he's thinking of my voice. And because we live together,
Right.
we can be in the studio together at all times.
Right.
And I honestly, that probably makes it hard for other people to work with us, but that's just, we've cultivated this thing where we're able to do that. And I feel really lucky to have that because I'm not like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a situation where I'm fighting with my bandmate
Right.
about their parts sucking or
Yeah.
whatever and how they need to change it. And then we don't write an album for 10 years because of that.
Yeah.
Like we can just, there's this really smooth work
Right.
process that we have. And I'm so fucking grateful for that.
Yeah. And a lot of people are usually more like kind of blatant with their partner too. I know with me and Paula when we're writing, like she'll just be like, Nick, that kind of sucks ass. And I'm like, there's just no there's no filter. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Control Z, control delete. Like, all right, let's do something else for this part and figure it out. And I don't know that dynamic for you and Naveen, but like it also
Oh,
must be
dude.
easier because you guys are just like blunt. Nope, nope. Okay, this is awesome. Let's go. You know.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, we've been together for 14 years. We're
Jeez, man.
very fucking honest with each other, and we both know that it's for like we're looking at it for a greater purpose.
Yeah.
It isn't to cut the other person down, and we both respect each other's musical opinions so
Mm,
much that if one of us thinks something that the other person does sucks,
mm.
then both of us are able to listen to that and be like, all right, then it sucks. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's
Yeah.
move on to the next thing.
That's such a good perception to have too, because a lot of times when people are obviously bands together and they're like, "This isn't good," a lot of people feel like personally attacked, and then it's hard because everyone has different lives and maybe they don't align with the same end goal. So like, well, then maybe they're like, this sucks because it's not what they want in the end. You know what I mean? Versus like, again, if you're working with someone that's especially your partner and you're like, well, we have the same exact end goal. So like, it doesn't matter how we get there. If we get it through, this riff or this riff, like who cares? Like if it's good, it's good. And we get to the end goal, right? Like
Absolutely.
that's the point.
Absolutely.
That's cool. That's super good. How is the, how's like, again, since we've talked, you guys have released a lot of music actually.
That's
Like
right.
you
Yeah,
released
we
an
got-
album and then like you just kept going. Like you didn't stop, which again, respect to that because bands usually are like, okay, we write an album, bye for 2 years, come back
Right.
and do all that. How's been the writing process for you for 2024, especially going into like 2025 and all of that?
Yeah, we're writing an album right now. We actually start tracking in less than a month. So,
Mm,
we had the album, then the EP,
mm,
An End to Everything. It came out almost a month ago at this point
mm,
on Metal Blade. So we put out like 5 singles and a video
mm,
accompaniment all year long.
mm.
And we kind of just want to keep the tunes rolling. I mean, you can relate to that, dude. You like one of the most prolific dudes in fucking metal right here. You're just putting out shit
Yeah.
constantly. And I find inspiration in people like you who are just like putting stuff out all the time and it's good. You
Well,
aren't just
thanks.
like rushing stuff out that's crappy. Like there is
I appreciate that. It's some of those because especially when I did the series the How To, and that was just a fun almost excuse for me to like just try a bunch of random shit when it came to writing because I'd just be like, all right, like I like all these bands, so like let's do the thing, let's see what they do, and kind of take some of those influences obviously and try to write a track as if it's on one of my favorite records of that band that never got released. And I got also give you mad props because we did the Cannibal Corpse one together, which kicks so much ass. And more people need to go
Dude, it
stream
does.
that, by the way.
I know. Go stream that shit, you guys. It's really good. I was proud of that when it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it was going to end up in the first place, but I've jammed it since
Yeah.
then.
No,
It's a
it
good.
goes super hard because especially when I'm doing those those I do particularly fast. But if I'm working on more like other projects, like sometimes I'm like, fuck, this takes me like a month, and I'm sitting there and then you go back and you're like, oh man, this all needs to be deleted. And then, it's the process, right? But with those were so like freeing almost because I forced myself to instrumentally write them in 2 hours, like a psychopath.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah,
I
because
love
I would
that.
stream it. So I'd be like, okay, well, here's the short. And honestly, it made me learn a lot about like, oh, wow, like the first 30 seconds of a song, if you have those like elements, the rest is like not the hardest because you just match thematically things to that and you kind of just build off that foundation. You have the foundation within the first 30 seconds. So sometimes me doing the how-to in 30 seconds took me longer than doing the actual song because that's the part you have to make sure is like there. It's solid. It has all the fundamentals to a point. But yeah, we would do that, and then I'd be like, all right, Chad, it's Thursday, full version time, and I'm sitting here and just fucking go, and basically it's like, well, I don't eat until I finish. So like some days, like I'm going 2 hours, but I'm like, I gotta eat, guys. So the song's the song at this
So let's
point.
hurry this shit up. I'm hungry.
Literally, I'm like, chat, like I know, like chat's like they're going wild over like this little part, like Nick, you should add this sample and this and this. I'm like, guys, like that food sample sound really fucking good right now. So like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm gonna put this random 808 that no one asked for, and then move along and kind of go with that. But that was a really good exercise, at least for me, when it came to songwriting, because it just forced me to like go and not stop and not take those breaks. Because I know a lot of times when I'll do songs that, which you probably should as a songwriter, but when I do songs that take me like a longer time, like a month or so, I would sometimes ruin the song by being too focused on making a song a particular way, or like changing things. I'd be like too caught up. I'd be like, like, does it have to be that note? You know, like, does it have to be, or is that the exact right sample?
Dude, you're hitting on something so important right here for me as well. I feel like the best songs I've written are the ones that I've been a little more, like, I don't know if thoughtless is the right word, but just the ones that I don't agonize over for
Right.
weeks. The best lyrics that I've written are the ones that I don't change 500 times because I like don't think a word sounds correct.
Right.
And also, like you were just touching on something really cool as well, which is that finding ways to exercise your songwriting process has been one of the most valuable things for me ever, because what you were doing is almost deconstructing how other bands write songs, and that's so valuable to bring into your own songwriting process. Like for us, when Naveen went and tracked drums for Whitechapel's album The Valley with Mark Lewis, like he saw how Whitechapel was writing their music, which was different than how we were doing it. They were like tracking vocals first so that the band came in around it.
Oh, that's cool.
And there are little aspects of working on other people's projects or just trying to deconstruct a song and see what makes that song or band tick that can be so valuable in your own songwriting process.
Because you can do that with so much, and then just take little tidbits of influence of like, oh, that's cool. Like that's how they're, you start to get in like their brain, almost like that songwriter's brain of like, oh, that's why they did this. It makes sense because they did this. So okay. And then you kind of take some of those even philosophies or just perceptions, and I remember doing that whole process. Like I went a year straight, like every week, I think I released one of those. Which is
crazy,
not healthy, by the way, by any capacity. But I made such a loop for myself of like, okay, well, the short content forced me to do the stream, and then the stream forced me to, do the full thing on YouTube, and then actually release it on DSPs. So I was like, oh, okay, like it's kind of like doing one thing of content that then goes from, a short promo to like the full song on YouTube, and it's like content for everything. And then I get a song out of it. I was like, okay, like it's still exhausting, but it was something that hit on all those spots. But oh my god, it is I would not recommend that particular process
or do you thought outside of the box, at least going that way. It's like I was reading about Ed Sheeran and what he does for his album writing process. He writes like 10 songs every single day. And he sends them to his manager, and he's like, I can't tell which of these songs are good, so his team picks out songs out of these, infinite amount of songs that he has. And I've always thought it would be cool to like do that with our band, write 10 metal songs a day.
Jeez,
and then go back through and sift through that. Have our producer, Mark Lewis, go through and be like, this one's awesome. This one fucking sucks. But at least you got through it. You're writing full songs.
I have to do always the morning after check. I have to. Like the day of means nothing. When you write that thing, you're just sitting there. I'm like, I fucking hate everything. This is all trash.
So true.
And then you do the morning. You wake up and get exist, and then you're like, okay, hit play. Okay, like
you're like, oh, it's not as bad as it was at 3 a.m. when I was telling myself that I should get a job as a banker because I'm never going to make it in this world.
Yes. But I was telling myself I should quit because this is ass. And then you wake up and you're like, okay, no, this is fine. It's too much. So yeah, though it's such an interesting thing to do. I think experimenting with that, that sounds fun. It can be very fun too. Like it exercises a different weird creative part of your brain when you're doing something like that.
I agree. And I think that, in keeping with the part of the reason we've been continuously in the studio and releasing material is also that I think it's kind of important to keep like well oiled in
Yeah.
writing and recording music because so many, I've gone 5 years without being in a recording studio between
Oh
two
yeah.
albums. And it's like you're starting the process all over. You're
Hmm.
getting used to the smell of a studio, what it's like to be
Yep.
in a place that's not your, because we go to Mark Lewis to track. So it's like we're getting used to being there and working with Mark and like you're like putting yourself through the process over and over again. And you never really get to that point where you're just a well-oiled machine that's like pumping
Yeah.
shit out and you really know what you want sonically and all of this stuff. So I think it's cool to just keep it well oiled, keep tracking. Like a lot of our best stuff has come out of just continuous
Yeah.
writing.
It's more exciting too, probably because then you're not waiting always 2 years for something to come out, which is the worst feeling of like, I have heard this song 1,000 times. Like, I don't even care that it's out now. Like, I'm like, great. Like,
I know.
and even though there's you advance as a songwriter, so maybe you're like, oh, fuck, I could have done at this point now. I could have maybe done that a little better. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very agonizing process, which is why I like seeing bands actually release a lot more frequently, even though. It's adapting in terms of the community because community is like, oh, well, I just want the album every 2 years. You know what I mean? That's very conventional. But like for bands, it seems tricky of like, okay, well, you tour for the year and then you spend kind of a year writing and then you wait another year for it to come out. And it's just like,
It's agonizing.
it's not fun for the artist even.
No, dude. But I mean, when we just put the EP came out, like I said, on the 25th of October, and I think we turned it in the 30th of October last year.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a year, you're waiting for vinyl and all of this
The
stuff. You're just
vinyl, my
waiting. And you're like, the EP came out, I'm on to the next thing. Like you said,
Yeah.
I've forgotten about it and
Right.
put it somewhere else. And I'm ready to like have people hear what I'm on now, how I sound now, how
Yeah.
we write as a band now. So yeah, it can be agonizing, but this adapting to the way that other genres are releasing music and just, Spotify and the nature of our world right now,
Yeah.
it's cool to like, I think anything goes right now. More
Yeah.
than ever, anything goes. And it's all about just like throwing shit out and seeing what sticks
Yeah.
because you could end up on Kai's stream or having Drake share you or whatever.
That's how is that? Because that's such a crazy random. How is that? Like, how did you get notified? Like, did you get a random text like, "Yo, so Drake just shared your thing"? Like, how does that even? You know what I mean? Like, how does someone receive that news randomly?
Okay, so here's what happened. A month before he shared anything, he followed me and he followed the band on Instagram.
That's sick.
And I was just like, okay, if this is all that happens, no big deal. And my friends, like, we were on tour with Archspire, and Dean Lamb was like, Chaney, fucking message Drake right now while we're on tour. And I was just like, no, Dean, I'm gonna play it cool, dude. I'm playing
Play
it cool. Playing it cool. So a month later, we were home. Drake hit me with a message. And he just told me, like, Chaney Crabb, I love you. And I was just
Okay.
like, I hit him back. Like, hell yeah, man. And if that's all that comes out of this, cool.
Right.
And then that weekend, he shared my video. It was at like 1 a.m.
So
And I just looked at it and turned my phone off and went to sleep. I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now.
That's too
I'll
many.
deal with it in the mornings.
Yeah, it's too many. Like, bro, I want to get some Z's. This is too much like emotion and just random things I have to deal with. This is a morning thing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see it in the morning. I have to like wake up and like make sure it's real
Right,
and that I'm
right.
not just tripping right now.
Yeah.
Like this is insane. So yeah, I just turned my phone off and the next day I woke up to everyone on planet Earth messaging me basically.
Right. That's so crazy. That's so cool that stuff's like that, like that's happening. And again, like mad respect to you, and again, just Entheos and Naveen in general for you guys just doing such cool shit that, and you're so consistent that it's cool because you guys stand out also with how consistent you guys are. Like you expand, and even I know some of the new songs too. Like you're including singing and all that. And that's fucking awesome. But like you guys are brutal as fuck. Like it's always wild. It's always like extreme music, and there's a lot of melody laced in and amazing songwriting. But it's great knowing that people who are not in this world at all will hear that, and it definitely obviously stands out compared to like the fucking million other metal bands that are doing things nowadays. So that's sick as fuck.
Well, thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's wild. And we're just gonna keep pushing and doing that shit. I'm not stopping now.
Yeah, no. What has been because again, people I don't think can fully grasp. Like, okay, they're like, okay, someone gets a shout out or someone goes on like a stream, right? Like in our world, that's still like people don't really understand how wild I think that is, and how like that just doesn't happen, right? So even after the Kai stream, like how is that? Did you get a bunch of people probably even just watching the stream, even just like following Entheos and like that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, it's a ton of people who don't listen to metal,
Right.
and I like searched it on TikTok. There's so many fucking clips all over the internet that have like millions of plays on them
Jeez.
now that are just way, it's out in the ether.
Right.
It doesn't belong to me. Or,
Right.
so it's like, yeah, it's a ton of like new people. And I think it's rad because, my band isn't like playing the most mainstream kind of
Right.
metal. So it's cool to me to witness these people being kind of thrust into like a more techie death metal
Yeah.
end of the spectrum, and they don't even realize because they just associate it all with being like screamo. And
This is
yeah, so
great.
it's
That's my favorite blanket or random screaming music term that just anyone says ever. It's that's the thing. I don't even think it's offensive now. It's just funny, like when people say it. It's
dude, it's funny. Call it whatever the fuck you want. I
right.
just want people to listen to my band. So yeah, it's a bunch of like random weird people coming out of the woodwork, rappers, other streamers, just it's bizarre.
That's dude. If you guys get like this is like rappers saying, "Yo, like give us a sample for our like beat or something," and like you guys have like a tech death sample or some shit, like that's wild. I can see shit like
Trying to
that
make it
going.
happen. Trying to make that happen.
That's because a lot of the mainstream world too, like they're slowly but surely in terms of like the rap world or even the pop artist world, like there's those collabs and they're looking for, I mean, particularly like guitar-ish based samples, but sometimes really extreme ones. Like I'm hearing popular artists, like pop artists, use like down-tuned guitar stuff, and I'm like, who taught you this? Like, where'd you find this one? Like, that's so
Dude,
random.
totally. Or like the people who already kind of do crossover, like Ghostmane.
Yeah.
Ghostmane to me is like so close to metal, the aesthetic,
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
but even the rapping, like there are a lot of Ghostmane lines I could hear a high vocal or just a vocal over, or on. It's like they're so close together that it's like let's bridge this.
That like trap metal scene is wild, and they're just metalheads. Like all of them are just metal kids that just fuck hard with 808s and
Yeah.
screaming. Like that's basically it. It's literally when I did like my little meme like trap rap project Nik Knock a couple of years back, where I was just like, this is fun as fuck. Like it's just really loud 808s, ignorant, like distorted, clipping the master nonstop and screaming, and even just doing stuff like that. I think unironically, it was still one of my most successful videos I ever had. I could spend five years releasing an album, but me doing screaming 808s and fucking, random trap beats was one of the biggest videos I had. I was like, of course it is. That is exactly what would happen
Of
in my
course.
life. And
Yeah.
I'm not a vocalist either. I just, I'm an instrumental guy. So I was just like, yeah, that would be the thing that people actually watched for some reason.
Of course, dude.
But that world is crazy, and there's so much crossover. Like that's basically the bridge world. Like I always throw it in alternative, which is probably not the best category of like description, but it's like mainstream pop, all that. Then there's the alternate alt world, and then there's like metal. But there's so much crossover between the alt and metal, and then alt and pop, and I'm like, there's always the layers. It just has to skip like twice from metal to get to the mainstream. It's got to go to the alt and then right there. It's right there.
Yeah. It's so close. I agree with
Yeah.
you.
And having, again, more bands or artists just do that and collab, and again, celebrating that stuff. That's so important. I get so annoyed when sometimes communities, when we get like a win, I even, again, referring to the fucking Olympics, I was like, guys, I don't care if Gojira went up there and played like My Little Pony music. Like, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna clap and be like, this is awesome. Like, for just
I
accept
know.
it, you know, like.
I agree with that. It's like I sometimes you'll see people say, we don't need this. We don't need to be exposed in that way. It's like, dude,
Yes, you do.
yes, we do. We
Yeah.
fucking need this. And it's awesome that other people are embracing us and that it's not like, dude, when I was in middle school,
Yeah.
dressing the way I dress, I was way weirder than I was considered to be way weirder than the kids who are dressing like this in middle and high school now. Like, it's a part of mainstream culture.
Yeah.
Being like emo or
Yeah.
wearing all black.
Everyone has
and
deathcore logos now. It's like,
dude, everyone,
it's
every fucking clothing line you can find has a deathcore shirt. And that's important. It opens more people up to our world. I do want to see metal be able to play Bridgestone Arena in downtown Nashville. Like, I want to see metal cross over and, do what Slaughter to Prevail just did. They just played on a huge tour in an arena every night.
Yeah. They did the Wall of Death, which is not it's not fully parallel, but like I know they did the Wall of Death, the fucking highest record or something like that too, which is just so random. Like, I would imagine, like, I mean, Alex is not too far here in Orlando, just like you hearing that fucking huge ass dude just go, ooh, whatever, demolisher, and then it's gone. It's over. But yeah, seeing more stuff like that is cool. Even you actually mentioned Nashville. Country core is a thing. This is very real.
Dude, it's such a thing. So many of the metal kids that I know here are just kind of trying to play country, and a lot of country bands are they consist of metal players.
Yeah.
Like Jelly Roll has this dude on drums who's like a metal-y crossover guy. All the metal kids know him,
Right.
The worlds are very close together. There are awesome musicians in metal, so why wouldn't you be drawing? Or Bill Murray.
I was gonna say Jody. Jody is the best human I've ever met in my life. He's so fucking funny, but also just like the music is so great, but the videos are the
Dude,
you can't
amazing.
beat it.
I know.
It's
I was just watching videos of his drummer last night. That guy rips. Oh my God.
everyone's so good, but it's on this really fun medium, which is country, which is the huge melodies and big banger tunes, and then this like metal aggressive kind of down-tuned edge. And that was actually one of the first times, besides like listening to Hardy, but like seeing the metal community be like, yo, I hate country, but this is sick. You know what I mean? I was like,
I know.
Something's happening here. Because people think like pop is the antithesis of metal. No, it's country, 100%.
It's country.
Yeah.
Ask any metalhead. They all hate country. I love country. I grew up with it. I'm from Iowa. I love country music.
Yeah.
But most of my friends hate country with a passion.
Right.
So that's the weirdest crossover. And if you can make that work, that's that's amazing.
Yeah, it was funny. We checked out. It was Bill Murray's last video, the end or something, and I had him on the phone for a second because the video is just him with a Monster Energy drink and in a field. Like, it's a particularly just Bill Murray fashion and 720p quality. And I was calling him and talking. I was like, dude, like, this is fucking crazy. How'd you do this? He's like, bro, that video, we literally we spent the 2,000. Like, they were on Columbia now, and they were like, dude, hit up Columbia, and they're like, how much do you need? And he was like, just $2,000, bro, for the video. And they're on Columbia, and it was like the funniest fucking story I've ever heard of. Just like, they were like, are you sure? Like, you just need 2,000? He's like, actually, yeah, man. And then Johnny's like, we didn't even need the 2,000. It was just extra. I just paid my homie it. Like, I was like, this is the world we live in now, where country core exists. Music videos can be hilarious and fun or really serious, but it's just like, it really feels like the overall theme is no rules, which is really
that's how
refreshing.
it should be. It's no rules.
Yeah,
I love it.
How's it living in Nashville? Like, because again, it's everyone's there now. Like, everyone I know.
Everyone is here. We moved here 3 years ago, so it was right at the beginning of this Nashville huge move of the metal scene. So many metal people live here. It's so inspiring to be around because people are moving here because they want to live off of music. Like, they want to play metal for a living.
Right.
The scene's getting bigger every day. So many bands live here: Cannibal Corpse, Whitechapel, Fallujah. I could go on forever. I'm never leaving this place. I'm never leaving. It's
Okay.
just been the most inspiring thing. I can go out and see like Amigo the Devil at the bar and just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's hanging, everyone's trying to like uh, everyone's motivated,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think that not a lot of places have that. Not a lot of places have the scene
Mm.
where everyone is motivated, everyone's trying to play music so we can all inspire each other. The shows are doing great. The scene is picking up. It's just like, we go to shows at least once a week
That's
usually.
awesome.
So it's just like it's the best place ever. How's
Mm.
Florida? You're new to Florida, right?
Hell yeah, brother.
You loving it?
It's well, coming from Canada, where right now I
Mhm.
know it's almost December, and I would be absolutely in a bitchy mood because I'd wake up and it would be frozen. So that's an instant win for me, and it's actually really nice here in the winter in Florida. So I was like, oh my god, because the summer it is hot. It is hot.
It's rough, dude.
Yeah,
That is what keeps me away from Florida is the summer.
yeah, it's hot. In Orlando, there's a few more people around here. I mean, all the Trivium guys are here, which is really cool.
Oh
And
yeah.
Matt's like the nicest dude fucking ever. He's always just
He
like
seems awesome. I've never met him, but
he's he's
he's like
mhm.
championed our band and stuff. He's a
He's
rad
very
dude.
like, what do you need? And you're like, your instinct, obviously, in the music industry is like, what do you want? Probably is
Yeah.
like most musicians are like, okay, someone wants something from me.
Yeah.
And Matt's so genuine and just wholesome and sweet. He's just like, no, like, what do you need? Like, you're here, like, I got you. I'm like, wow,
I
that's
love that.
so. He was one of the first people that when we were moving reached out. I was like, whatever you need. Like, he gave me a whole list of like the best food places, like that kind of thing, like the places to guides to go. I was like, you're so nice, and you did not need to do that at all.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But he's a gem. I know Kyle from Brand of Sacrifice also just moved around here,
Oh, word.
and he's super sick. But there was, yeah, other than that, people are still kind of coming here, but it's more Tampa. I feel like Tampa's a bit busier than
Yeah.
Orlando because they like the beach. They don't give a fuck about Mickey Mouse. But I mean,
Right, that's true.
but and it's something I learned as a Floridian with hurricanes and shit. You better love Mickey Mouse more than the beach, bro.
Yeah, you better get away from the beach.
Yeah, the beach is not fucking happy during hurricane season. And that was the one
No,
thing
dude.
because me and Paula were like, oh, do we go Tampa? Do we go Orlando? We were maybe even gonna go like Austin. But we're like, okay, we're in Florida, Tampa, Orlando. Or like, I don't know, Orlando's like maybe safe, like it's a safer bet. We've never dealt with a hurricane, also like it's a little cheaper. It's not like we're gonna go to the beach every day. So we're like, okay, let's go to Orlando. And then we were like, then it was hurricane season. I was like, what the fuck is, hurricane season? And then I saw hurricane season. I was like, no way, man. I'm totally fine in the middle here. And like we got
Yeah,
the
stay there.
aftermath of whatever. I think it was Milton, and some places did flood, but luckily we didn't. But it was so loud and crazy that I was like, wow, this is like after it's chilled out through going through like half of fucking Florida. So I was like, we're also not moving. Like, no
Yeah,
way.
that's wild. I can't, that's the one thing that sucks about here is the tornadoes.
Oh, you guys have
So
tornadoes in Nashville.
last year a tornado touched down maybe 2.5 miles away from my house.
Oh no.
And we live on like a peninsula type thing that's surrounded by a lake. And my friend lives about 4 blocks toward the tornado. And he was looking out his bathroom window, like seeing generators blowing up.
No way.
And it's really wild being in a tornado when you're really close to the eye because everything is very calm.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I can sense them being from Iowa. I lived in California for a long time, so I
Okay.
got used to like no weather. But I went outside that morning, and when it's the perfect mixture of humidity and cold,
Right.
I was just like, there's going to be a tornado today.
Oh,
And when
shit.
I saw the calm, I was like, oh my fucking God. And I started crying and grabbing my cats and going
Oh,
into our
God.
studio and like was on the phone with my friend's mom, just bawling, having her talk me through it. It was super scary.
Oh, fuck.
2 people died in it. I know that Ben Savage from Whitechapel, his
Yeah.
wife is a good friend of mine. And she was home. I think he was on tour and she was like watching from her backyard and a tornado was coming at their house
no.
and turned and knocked over a trailer like 2 or 3 blocks away from their house and killed 2 people in the trailer. Like
Jeez.
that's the scariest part of Nashville, and we're coming up on tornado season right now, so I'm like getting
Okay.
prepared for that. But Other than that, I won't move away.
Me and Paula had a different approach, but also because we weren't like we're like, okay, we're in Orlando, but we're still like, fuck, we're scared. So our approach was, okay, we're not gonna have power for a week. So we got a bunch of alcohol, and then we just were like, this is the plan. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna probably just drink for a week because we have no power, and we're just gonna play guitar. We're gonna accidentally write an EP while we're probably just drinking. So I was like, okay. And again, we just got very lucky because our power didn't even go out. We kept one of the lights on, and it was so, again, outside was like, it was like hell was happening. We kept one of the lights on because I was just waiting for it to go off. And I woke up, I was like, is that thing still fucking on? I was like, there's no way. And
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
But then we didn't commit to our plan, so we just had a bunch of random alcohol sitting. I was like,
yeah. Did you still get drunk and write an EP?
No, we do. I just went to I just went to stream the next day. I was like, whoa, guys, I'm back.
So, back to the normal stuff.
Yeah,
when that tornado knocked out our power, we were like cooking rice over a camping stove and shit in our living room, and we walked outside and we could hear the loudest buzz of generators all around us, and we were just like, we're so stupid. Everyone has a generator except for us, and we're living over here like it's 1862.
Jesus. Yeah, because we were gonna prepare too on our, but we besides the alcohol, I mean, again, you go to the store, everything's already gone, so you're like, okay. And this is the part, why the toilet paper, guys? Like, come on, like we just needed like a pack, man. Like, we're not here to hoard it. Like, why the fuck did you guys take all the toilet paper?
Why?
Like, we were fine, but like, why the toilet paper, man? Like,
doesn't anyone have like a battery powered bidet going on? Like, we need to get those. It's time for us to move on from toilet paper, dude.
Yes, that would solve everything. But yeah, that's okay. Good to know. Because yeah, if we ever think, because everyone I know is in Nashville too, so I'm like, fuck, Nashville sounds kind of cool.
Dude,
the only thing I'm worried about,
hey y'all,
hell yeah, brother, hell yeah, is the winter cold? Because I can't go back to Toronto weather.
It's not. No, I mean, dude, it's not Toronto.
Okay.
It gets cold, but it's really cute. When it snows. So it gets cold, yes. You have to like put on your winter gear, but dude, I like dressing up in winter gear. I like all my clothes, my coats, all that stuff. So it's nice for fashion.
Right.
But then it's cute when it snows. It snows for like 2 weeks, and they don't have the infrastructure here to deal with snow at all.
Okay.
So everything shuts down, and you get to just chill at home and have that the couple of snow days, and then you're back to normal. But I mean, dude, you can stream on a snow day. You know?
That's true, but I look outside and I'm just like, see, the first, and this is even when I was in Canada, first day, beautiful. Oh my God, the snow's so beautiful. Second day, you wake up. Okay, it's cold. I'm a little more bitter, and now everything is slush. That's the worst. It's not when it's snow and like all powdery and cute. It's when everything is slush and wet and you just feel like stopping. Dude.
You know what was the worst? What is the worst is like wearing baggy jeans that kind of like are under your shoes, and you walk out in the snow and that.
This is
just like soaked up to your knees by the time you get to your destination. It sucks so bad.
I just don't leave the house at that point. That's the solution. That's the solution. But
the solution is cultivate a career for yourself where you don't have to leave your house for a few days.
This is what snow did to me. It made me become this. Yeah, it made me a streamer. Snow made me a streamer. That's actually the full circle here. Okay.
There we go, dude.
There you go. Chaney, always a pleasure chatting with you. With Entheos, anything you want to mention, any plans that you can talk about,
come and see us on tour in January February, whenever, with Born of Osiris. Go check out our stuff. Check out our new EP and End to Everything. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out. And thanks, Nick. Always a pleasure hanging out with you, dude.
Chaney, you're the best. Thank you so much again. Chaney of Entheos. Go check out Entheos. Show Chaney, Naveen the love, and also just follow them because they just are everywhere on the internet now.
Follow us. Drake follows us, dude. You're slipping.
Drake follows. You're not gonna follow. Don't be a fucking loser. Come on. Yeah. That's the best call to learn from you. You're already a streamer at this point. Like, damn.
Chat. Drake's in the chat. He's in the chat.
No, we're not streaming on Kick, Chaney. I'm sorry. It's fine. Chaney, everybody. Chaney, thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye, Nick. Have a good one, man.
Have a good one. See you.